Hi guys, in today's video I want to talk a little bit about the different phases or different stages that you may go through when you travel out to the Philippines or live here, and personally talk about some of the own stages that I went through, and maybe it applies to you as well. Stick around. Hi guys, so when I first got to the Philippines, I kind of went through some different stages and wanted to share that with you. So the first stage that I went through, and I kind of tie this other stage with it, and I'll get to that in a second, but the first stage I went through is something called the honeymoon phase. Now the honeymoon phase is when you first get here and you really look at everything through rose-colored glasses and you don't really see any wrong and everything is just wonderful. And what I mean by that is, you get here and you kind of overlook like the trash on the ground. You overlook, maybe some women trying to scam you, and it's just, you kind of just look at things and you're like, oh well, whatever, it's just, you kind of look through all that and everything is new and everything is different and you're just excited to be here. And it is so vastly different, from the West. And even the prices, you just look at everything, you're like, wow, this is just so cheap. This is so cheap. And kind of related to also something called tourist mode, where you don't really fully understand even the prices yet. You're just comparing everything based on the West, which in reality what you should be doing is basing it off of other prices, what the real price is, what the average price is that you might pay for a taxi or from here to there, or you might pay for this certain produce or something, everything that's how you should compare it, but you're not. You got the rose-colored glasses on, you're comparing everything to the Western prices. And same with like dating and things like that. And so I call this the honeymoon phase. I also call this, somewhat related to this, the kid in the candy store phase. So when you first get here, for example, you join a dating app, and for the first time ever, because in the West, let's say you're in your 40s or 50s, even if you're a relatively good-looking guy in decent shape, the quality of girls and the amount of girls that are contacting you is quite small. Now you put your photo and your dating profile up on a dating app here in the Philippines, and even the guys who really aren't so good looking and don't have the six-pack abs are still getting overwhelmed with messages. And so I really call this kind of like the kid in the candy store phase, because none of us, even in our heyday, for a lot of us, we just aren't used to it. It happens to be rush hour right now with waiters walking back and forth. I picked the wrong time. But anyway, so, you get attention from the females. They're smiling at you, they're willing to chat with you. You can approach them and not be shot down. And if they do shoot you down, it's done in a polite way. And maybe even so, they will give out their Facebook. Maybe they just never contact you, but they don't embarrass you or anything like that. And so this is kind of the kid in the candy store phase. Now, a lot of guys don't intend to come over here and be the kid in the candy store. They really intend to come out here and just, maybe they've been chatting with a girl and they intend to meet her and settle into a relationship, and that's that. But a lot of guys end up getting here and then they realize, well, wow, look at all this attention I'm getting. And they think, do I really want to be in a relationship at this point? Now that's kind of how it went for me. I came here, honeymoon phase, kid in a candy store, but I had been chatting with a girl for a few months, met her, and we ended up dating and being together for about 3 months. But I was so distracted. I just couldn't believe all the options. And I just realized that this is not the time to be in a relationship for me. I want to kind of experience the Philippines and enjoy everything that it has to offer at this point. And so I quickly became single, and I kind of went through that kid in a candy store phase for a good year or two. honestly, if I'm being honest with myself, and it was enjoyable for a while. But eventually it does get old, you going on a new date and, hey, how are you? What do you like to do? And, oh, you got brothers and sisters, and, oh, okay, where's your family from? And just the same thing, just repeated over and over and over. And eventually, for me anyway, it got a little bit old, and I soon realized I wanted to move into I was out of that kid in the candy store phase. I wasn't looking at everything like that. I wasn't looking at everything through rose-colored glasses. I was kind of grounded in reality at this point and tired of the dating scene. For me, some people come here and they never get out of the candy store phase. They stay in that phase, and that's it. They stay in that, and they've been here for years and years and years, and they probably will never get out of that phase. Now, that's okay. If some guys want to come out here and they want to stay single and enjoy that type of life, that's I don't have any problem with that. I do think it's only fair to be upfront and honest with these girls and tell them, hey, listen, I'm not really looking for any relationship at this point in my life. I really just kind of want to date and see where it goes, and I'm not looking for marriage or kids or so I think it's okay as long as you're upfront and not really leading them on. So a lot of guys, I think, do make a little bit of a mistake, and they jump into an immediate relationship when they get here. Now, for some guys, this works out, and they were never really the type that really want to be the kid in the candy store. A lot of these guys, maybe they were married for a long time. They just aren't used to being alone, and they prefer to just be in a relationship. And so from day one, they get here, they've been chatting with a girl, they get into a relationship, and that's it. They're going steady and move in together, and life is great. Now, other guys also fit this profile. They've were in this long relationship, were married for many years, and all of a sudden they get here, and now because of that, they've never really had the opportunity to be the kid in the candy store, and it's so good here that they enjoy it, and maybe they want to stay in that mode for a while. But again, I do think a lot of people, they get here and I think they rush a little too quickly into the relationship, and I don't think they really get to experience the kid in the candy store phase. And I personally think it is a phase that you kind of need to experience for a little bit. Again, there's guys that don't necessarily want that, but for a lot, I think a lot of guys jump into the first relationship with the first girl they meet, and they never experience the kid in the candy store. All the dating and everything, and the abundance of dating. And I think it's important to at least try it out for a little bit, see what's out there. Don't just jump into the first relationship. Enjoy it a bit, and then you can kind of get it out of your system, and then move into your long-term relationship. Just my opinion. I'd like to hear everybody's opinion down there. But you could be at a restaurant and you meet a waitress. I told the story the other day about the guy who met his wife while she was working at Jollibee. She was the cashier, or the waitress, whatever you call them. And so there's just a variety of different ways you can meet girls here. Really, in everyday occurrences, at the store, at the public market, just walking around, making eye contact. It's just all over. It's really abundant here. So again, like I said, there's some guys that get here, they start off with the kid in the candy store phase, and they never get out of that phase, and they are still dating, and doing whatever. So anyway, guys, let me know your opinion. What kind of phases did you go through? Did you go through this kid in the candy store phase, or did you jump right into a relationship? Let me know thoughts, opinions, and everything else. If you haven't checked out my website, check it out, geointhephilippines.com, where you can get all kinds of information about the Philippines, book hotels, shop at the Geo Travel Essentials page with all the things I highly recommend for living or traveling out here to the Philippines. Even book a consultation with me if you have questions about traveling here for the first time or moving here. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.